What an amazing day. First and foremost, just a class act. D'Amico Ryans, the Texans, their whole staff. They were so accommodating. And then I think just the culture that they're building here, their players, they got a talented football team. They played so hard. There was physical hits, great effort all across the field, and done with class. And I just really appreciated that part of it, and I was excited about the work we were able to get in. I didn't see any of the defensive side, so I was on the offensive field over here. In the middle of the practice, we got really sloppy. We had about 5 pre-snap penalties in one drive. We're looking at some, first and 15s, a couple of sacks. I thought it got sloppy in the middle. Responded at the end with 2 great 2-minute finishes for touchdowns at the end of the practice over here, which was phenomenal. And I just keep convincing our guys that's who we are. We finish. Games can get ugly in the middle. We have to be able to refocus and rebound. So I was really excited about that part.
Dave, specific to Bryce, in that 2-minute segment,
Yeah.
I mean, he's going up against a better grade of competition. I mean, those are some really good defensive players. What did you see from him there, and what's kind of the takeaway from that segment?
Yeah, just our processes, getting to the line, using his tools, using his answers, reading coverages, and just being accurate with the ball, extending plays when he had to. And the more opportunities he gives our guys to make plays, they've come through for him. And I think we got a big defensive pass interference that actually flipped the field. So you can see how it goes both ways. But he did a great job today.
You talked about the pre-snap penalties after
Yeah.
the preseason game. What is that? I mean, how do you fix that?
Yeah, I just keep teaching the guys, and they see it when we get into these situations. Our guys are very competitive. They want to win, and all of a sudden you're looking at, first and 15. You're looking at second and 20, and they can feel how deflating those situations can be. We've overcome that at times, but it's hard. It's hard to get those explosives to get yourself back on track. But it's something we have to keep teaching off of, and ultimately to let them know, like the guys that are repeat offenders. We're not going to be able to play you. You're not going to be able to help us if you keep putting us in bad situations.
You talk about that wide receiver group. It's the stat room, and like you said, the Texans have some pretty good DBs. What did you see out of that group today?
I saw good battles. They had their work's worth today with a fantastic group. With Stingley and Lassiter and Petrie and Bullock back there. Sorry if I'm missing any of the other great players. They had a couple of players out there that were covering us tightly all day. Everything that we caught, we had to work for. It's such great work for us, to be in that kind of a competitive environment that way. And you win some, you lose some, you got to go to the next play. So it was a great challenge for our guys.
Dave, Bryce and CJ go 1 and 2 in the draft.
Yeah.
CJ, offensive rookie of the year. Bryce has the good finish last year. Did you study, I guess, CJ when he was coming out, and what do you see in their games that are similar at all,
Yeah.
and then how are they different?
Yeah, I think some similarities that both guys had is just their charisma, their leadership ability. That was very apparent in their college film, watching that. The accuracy, the ability to move off the pocket, extend plays, is a bonus to what they do. But I think it's really like you're talking about 2 first-class guys, that are leaders of their team. CJ came over and said hello and just wanted to make sure he connected. And, I really appreciate that. And Bryce did the same thing. These guys have a lot of respect for each other. They've known each other for a really long time, both Southern California kids, the cradle of quarterbacks, and so they just, they have that kind of, they have that connection. They also have that competitive edge, like where they push each other, I'm sure, from afar. So it was really cool to have both of those guys out here working.
Dave, I know you've been kind of stickler about penalties in practice. Seems
Yeah.
like there are quite a few on the offensive side.
Yeah.
What did you take away from maybe the discipline?
Fatigue, lack of focus. That's something that we have to learn to do better. We have to be able to fight through fatigue, fight through exhaustion. It's going to be hot. We're going to go to Jacksonville week 1. It's going to feel like this. Can we maintain that level of focus play after play? Regardless of what the last play did, can you breathe on your way back, and then can you execute? And I saw the penalties pile up when we were tired. That's something that we have to get better at.
Did you, I'm sorry, I got you late, but did you give us an update on Nick Scorton?
Yeah, Scorton just overheated, so they got him they have a cooling trailer like we have, so they got him in there, try to get his core temperature back down. He had to take some IV fluids, and we just didn't feel comfortable putting him back out there to finish the practice. You get dehydrated, first thing happens is you get soft tissue injuries, and of course, worse things can happen when you're overly heated. But they did a good job of catching that, getting him in there, cooling him down. We'll get him some more fluids, and hopefully we can get him turned around so he can play in the game.
David, I know you didn't get to watch defense today. Just
Yeah.
in general, what has Pat Jones kind of added to that rush?
Just a physical style of play, exactly what we're looking for, to be disruptive on the edge, to really blow stuff up. It starts with the run game, and he does that for sure. And then in a pass rush setting, he's got a nice speed to power move, and he's got counters. So he kind of keeps tackles guessing, and he can rush inside. So he's doing a great job, and he's a pro's pro. The way he prepares and works is awesome.
Yeah, there's Jalen Coker and Trevin Wallace. How are they doing?
Yes, good. So Trevin has a personal matter that I won't get into, but he showed up. He actually flew in this morning, so he's back with the team here. And then Coker had a fever last night, swollen lymph nodes, so they think it's some type of an infection. So they're treating him antibiotics and all that. And they said he's getting better. He's at the hotel right now, improving, and hopefully we can turn him around so he can play.
You obviously held JC out. Will
Yeah.
he be held out Saturday?
Yeah, I would think so.
You talked about this earlier, but how important was it to get a hot practice before Jacksonville when Charlotte's been a little unseasonably cool this year?
I know we kind of been spoiled with the weather a little bit, but I felt confident about our conditioning level. I think that we're dosing the guys the right way, pushing them, pushing them a little bit beyond their limits, every day, and trying to increase their workload. This was a crescendo of the hard work. I love that we were able to come out here to play all the way through, finish with great 2-minute drives over here on the offensive field. I got to check out the defensive side, but I just kind of was looking around, and for the most part, this is a very fit group that's ready to play football. I love the fact that we got this heat. We know we opened up at Jacksonville, but again, guys, it's football. We'll be prepared for it. We let the guys know. Go out there, give everything you have. We see that you're gassed. We'll get somebody else out there, and that's where the depth that we're building here is so important as we continue into the season.
3 series still for the game on?
That's the hope. I want to see how we come out of today, because I know, like, right after the practice, thank the Lord, it feels like we came out pretty clean. But things kind of present themselves. Soreness will present itself tonight, so we'll have to kind of reconfigure in the morning, see where we're at, to see how long we want to play them. But they will be playing.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Yep.
Dave.
Thank you.